cactus and succulent growers, it's Lynn, and in today's video I'm going to be repotting my Cereus Jamacaru cactus, now sort of nicknamed the Cuddly Cactus, into its new pot. Now this gorgeous Cereus here is one that I bought a few days, well, about a week or so ago now, and I made a video when I did and actually mentioned I was going to be doing a repotting in the video in a few days time, but because the weather's been very hot up until recently, I've wanted to wait till it cooled down a bit so I can actually work in the greenhouse, because it's just been unbearably hot. So now it's cooled down, it's time to get repotting it. Now, I just want to mention this Cereus Jamacaru, commonly known as the Cuddly Cactus, is nicknamed the Cuddly Cactus because it's one that doesn't have any spines. Now, it actually does. If you touch it, you can actually feel very short spines, but you really do have to touch it, because if you went like that, you don't feel anything, and it's just got little white woolly little tufts. Gorgeous, lovely, attractive cactus. It seems to be sort of a bit of a new craze with this one on the market at the moment. Now we have another Cereus Jamacaru in our collection, which is this gorgeous one here, and this one is actually coming into bud. It was blooming with the most magnificent flower a few weeks ago, and very happy to see it's coming back into bud again. I'll just go a bit closer, because this one is very different looking in appearance to our new Cereus Jamacaru. As you can see, this one has got spines, and it's also got more of a sort of yellowy colour to it, appearance to it, and a very beautiful flower, and happy to see it's budding again. Now this Cereus Jamacaru is very different appearance to our other one. So there's obviously different types and many sort of different varieties, hybrids and that. And this one is going to be repotted today. Now, before I actually do mention anything else now, I've actually, when I put the video up about this cactus, about the new Cuddly Cactus, I had quite a few people contact me saying that they've actually got the same cactus, including my friend who lives here as well, who went out and bought one after seeing my video. And they actually said to me, Lynn, I know you're going to do a repotting video, but whatever you do, don't try and attempt to remove this coconut core from the roots, because a few of them tried to attempt it and they actually damaged a lot of the root system while trying to do so. So they said to me to just take it out the pot, place it into the new soil and pot, and just place soil around it and leave it. Now, the good news with Cereus cacti is they're very good at reacclimatizing to new soil. A lot of our Cereus cacti, Peruvianus, Trichocereus and all the rest of them, we've literally lifted out and put them into the fresh soil without disturbing the roots, and as you can see, they grow very well for us. So if this one is going to be a bit like that, if it's really completely caked in this coconut core, I might just have to leave it and place it in. That is as long as there's no signs of any root mealybugs or anything like that on the roots. So obviously if I see signs of pests, then I'll have to remove the soil somehow. But let's see how we go, and let's get removing this first from its pot. Now, first of all, I'm going to move this out the way, squeeze this pot, so loosen it up a little bit. Oh, it's come out very easy, no problem there. And happy days, as you can see, very good root system. And as I say, what I do, especially when I'm putting into my own type of soil, when I get new cactus plants, I remove the old soil off before I put it into my new soil. I remove as much as I can. It's impossible to take all the soil off. But as you can see, this is mostly, it looks like coconut coir. And if I was to try and attempt to even try and get this off, this is caked on, I think I'm going to do a lot of damage to the roots. It's not overly root bound. As you can see, there's a lot of fresh roots all coming through there, and if this was all completely matted with roots, I may have to loosen it, but it's okay. So I'm going to take the advice of what many others have told me, including a lot of people who've got this cactus, who've been growing cactus, for one guy for 60 years, and he said, Lynn, it'd be fine, just pot it into the new soil, don't disturb the roots, because it's going to be, from their own experience, extremely hard to remove. So that's what I'm going to do. And as I say, these are all fresh roots here. You can see them there. You can see very fresh. So when I put this into the soil and just put the soil around it, then these will come through and these roots will just go into the new soil. I don't think there's going to be a problem. And obviously I'm going to remove this top bit because this is a lot looser here, this coconut coir. So I'm doing something I wouldn't normally recommend doing, and that's just potting the cactus straight up without removing the old soil first. But as I say, I've mentioned why, and I'm glad that they let me know about that, because I'd hate to cause any damage to the roots. And apparently this particular cactus, this Cereus Jamacaru, is quite tolerant of just rerouting itself into the fresh soil. This is not, coconut coir itself is not bad to use for soil, you know, for cactus soil. It's well draining, but obviously it needs more nourishment than this. If it's just potted up in this, it's not really going to be enough, well, no nourishment for it really. So there's a little bit of root there. So I think that's all I'm going to do. As you can see, the roots are, it's not too root bound, so it shouldn't be any problem. Now, what I've done here is I have made up some cactus soil, and I like to make my own cactus soil up of using about sort of roughly around 3 equal parts of a loam based soil. In this case I use John Innes number 2 with a bit of grit and perlite and a bit of sand thrown in as well, roughly around 3 equal parts, depending on what cactus I'm potting up. Sometimes I'll use a bit of pumice as well if I can get hold of it, but this is a well draining mix. And if you want to know a sort of an all-round basic cactus and succulent, how to make your own soil, then I'll link up above to a video on how to make cactus and succulent soil in 3 easy steps. And that's what I've more or less done for this one here. Now what I'm going to be doing, I'll just lift the camera up a little bit so you can see me placing it in. I've put a little bit of soil already in the bottom. Make sure you always use a clean, sterilised pot if you're not using a new pot, because if you're reusing pots, which I always do, I always make sure they're thoroughly clean. Otherwise, if you just use pots that have got soil from the last time, and you can have pathogens and things like that passing to other plants, to your new plants you're potting up. So gently place that in, as I say, that's that, like so. Now that should be okay. And what I'm going to do now is put the new soil, get some here, place this in the middle and just place it around. You want to make sure that you get the soil all around the edges there, so it's plant is thoroughly covered. And what I do when I repot new cactus and succulents, once I've repotted them, I leave them for about a week to 2 weeks, depending on if I've had to disturb the root system or not, just to let them acclimatise to being repotted. Now as you can see with this, I haven't touched the root system at all. I haven't loosened the root ball like I normally would do, because of the fact it's going to be difficult to remove that coconut coir. So it should be pretty much okay. I'll leave this probably for about 5 days in a shadier spot just to acclimatise. Then I'll give it its first water. It's summertime here, so it's okay. I wouldn't really recommend repotting cactus in the winter, although I know many growers that prefer to repot in winter. They keep the plants dry then until the following spring. So it's really whatever you prefer to do. That's only what I like to do. And then I'm going to be using this then just to go around the bottom, just to make sure that all of this soil has gone down the sides of the pot, because sometimes if you don't tuck it in, the soil won't go around the bottom. And as I say, this is a very well draining mix, and it shouldn't be a problem with the coconut coir already on it. A lot of the time when you buy cactus from garden centres, they're often just planted up sometimes in pure peat, and that's the worst. Coconut coir isn't too bad. If they're just potted up in peat, then it's just like dries like cardboard. It's terrible to re-wet. And in my experience, peat is a real root mealybug magnet as well. But this should be fine. And just gently tap as well to make sure all that soil has gone along. You can put a bit of top dressing as well if you want to. I'm not going to with this. I think this is fine. And as I say, I'm going to leave it for about 5 days just to acclimatise itself to getting repotted, even though I haven't had to disturb the roots. Then I'm going to start giving it a little bit of watering again. And this particular Cereus, I don't think it's one that's particularly cold hardy, so I'm going to be bringing this in for the winter months indoors into my grow room, where I overwinter a lot of my other type of cacti and succulents. So there we go, guys, all done. And Cereus, Jamacaru, Cuddly Cactus all in its new pot, and I'll make future updates on this as it grows. I hope you enjoyed that little repotting video. I've made a video on how to repot a cactus, so do check that video out also, and I'll link that video up above and down below. And for more growing tips on how to care for and grow many different types of cacti and succulents, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to click that notification bell, and also do please check out my website for lots more growing tips on there and many articles on caring for cactus. desertplantsofavalon.com. I want to wish you all a fantastic cactus powered day.